The internet defines imposter syndrome as the experience of not feeling successful inside, like internally, you don't feel successful, despite being high performing externally in the eyes of the world or of other people. The experience of not feeling successful internally, despite being high performing externally. I have struggled with imposter syndrome. Julia Roberts, pretty sure you've heard of her. She's great. She has struggled with imposter syndrome. There is no level of skill or proficiency that will make you immune to imposter syndrome. All human beings, but especially women, I will come back to that in a second, all of us are susceptible to imposter syndrome. And I bet most of us either have it or will have it at some point or another in our lives. Not because we're weak or broken or vulnerable, but simply because it being imposter syndrome, is a feeling, not an actual syndrome. And as humans, we will feel it all. I repeat, imposter syndrome is not an actual syndrome. In fact, when it was conceptualized by two male psychologists, shocker, it was viewed as a phenomenon. Imposter phenomenon is what it was called. It was thought to be common among high achieving women, and it was called imposter phenomenon or impostorism. Research later revealed that both men and women experience it. But again, impostorism or imposter phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, is a feeling rather than an well, it's actually kind of an emotional cocktail of feelings that equates to not feeling successful, but rather doubtful and afraid of being exposed as a fraud. That's the real kernel of it. That's the worst part about it, is not only that you don't feel good, but you feel bad. You feel afraid that you might be exposed for what you are, which is a fraud, which is also a lie. And we're going to get into that in a second. Are you with me so far? Okay. Let's get on to my take on impostorism. That was the internet's take. That's the history of the thing. Now, I believe if you're close enough to the people doing the work that you admire to have imposter syndrome in the first place, then you're also close enough to pull up a chair, have a seat at the table, and learn directly from them. Learn from the people you admire. Learn from the people who are doing that great work to fill your skill gaps and grow big and strong until you reach what will ultimately be your next level of feeling like an imposter, at which point you can process your self-doubt and fear and do it all over again. That's my take. I really think if you're close enough to the people and the work that you think are great, if you're close enough to that, to feel imposter syndrome, then you're close enough to learn from the best. You're close enough to be a pupil of that high level of work. So if your brain is offering you that you are somehow less than, maybe it's a little bit right. Maybe there are skill gaps or actual weaknesses that you want to strengthen. And being at that level will help you strengthen, will help you fill those skill gaps.